ready from Sarge, ready from Donatello, ready from JB, and ready from Sportsy. Time to get this first game underway. 4-7 is the level block. And it's time for this quad box in 3, in 2, in 1. Pills for game number 1. Let's have a look at these boards.
Here we go. Donatello 86 gonna be the first out of the gate. A lot of red to start out on this board for Donnie here, and a lot of blue. Not much yellow access to speak of at the moment, but he's doing a really good job with what he's been given. We peek over at Sarge's board and pray. Look at those columns 1 and 2, completely empty here for Sarge.
Yes, he's going to need to kind of he can use those 2 as trash columns if he needs, which is not necessarily a bad thing in this scale of the fact that, 1 and 2 is completely devoid of any color whatsoever, but he's doing well with what he's got. Needs to excavate down towards some reds here. Meanwhile, looking up the top of the quad box here, JB working this down nicely, still has some very good board health. We don't have any information on Sportsy's board at the moment. We'll get that to you as quickly as we can. Obviously, our restreamer, the Dave, working hard behind the scenes to bring you all the action as we do get it. Sportsy actually ahead with only a few viruses left. All red, however, so all red all day.
Yep, and speaking of all red, Donatello there with that double red to get out at about a 114. He's got a nice little lead here.
He was our first of all of them.
Yeah, and Sportsy getting out at 124.
And then in goes Sarros into level 5. JB, the only person left to get out of this level, looking for, well, the pills are coming through nicely for him. Does get out just under a minute 40 into 5. Look at the top line here for Sportsy, however. It's very high elevated, so he's going to have to work this down. And if he does, I kind of like that from Sportsy there. Meanwhile, Flindo, how's it looking on the bottom side?
Yeah, a lot of red here for Donatello that he's having to work through. And SgtSarros, really not much access to blue for him either. Needing mostly yellow at this point. We'll see what he does. I love the play there with the red-blue. It's going to take a little bit more drop time, but it's a very efficient play. Meanwhile, Donatello's still waiting for reds. We look at JB's board. He's now got a lead here over his opponent. It's Sportsy. But JB now also needing a lot of red and a little late hit on that, but he was able to get an undertuck.
I just seen he didn't manage to get the undertuck there on the red-yellow. It would have cleared them out all quite nicely. I like kind of what he's doing here, setting up for things. But he is majority going to be left with all reds all day. Sarros out of 5 into 6 at just under 3 minutes. JB's only got 1 virus left. Is going to follow just over 3 minutes. So Donatello and Sportsy on the back foot here with three viruses for Donatello, 4 viruses for Sportsy, now down to 3. I still wouldn't count anyone out just yet, though.
Yeah, absolutely. 4-7 is one of those level blocks. You've got pretty wide open spaces on your board. I'm not going to sing it because of DMCA reasons. Yeah, and it could give you a lot of drop time, and it could give you, sometimes you run into situations where we've seen with, Itzsportsy with his level 5 had so much red that it really hampered him a little bit, and could be seeing that now that I look at JB's board a little bit. A lot of red for him. He does have some setups going, though. Any red half will trigger a nice little sweet tea, and he's going to get it with some drop time here and drop some blue down onto his column 5 blue and gives him a little bit more room to work with here at the bottom. Now we look over at SgtSarros needing only yellows and only blues, but I'm loving this in-game setup from him, Prey.
Yeah, I'm loving it too. Just looking at the top of the board, there is misdrops from both sides of the field. I think that's another one, that yellow blue on column 7 should have. I think he may have wanted that to be flipped the other way. He is working it nicely, however. Sarros only down to 1 virus left in this level 6. And one thing to note as well, Sarros is out. Well, that's not the thing to note though. Just under 444. The thing to note is that Sarros is the only person in this quad box currently playing on medium. So he kind of has the advantage of being able to properly tuck pills in without the worry of it getting jammed.
Yeah, playing on medium speed does give you just a little bit more maneuverability, especially with those tucks. It's a good point. But we had JB out at about a 502. Sportsy just looking for 2 more yellows. Didn't quite see how he got out of that situation there on the right side of his board. But out now at a 525, 23 seconds behind JB. Meanwhile, Donatello at the bottom right of your screen, just waiting for 1 more blue.
Uno mas.
Getting a little bit of a hot dog blitz. There it is in the form of a double blue. 537 for Don.
And then Sportsy is also through into the 7. Only 4 or 5 viruses behind at this current point in time. Meanwhile, Sarros is absolutely demolishing this board. It's down to 7 in the blink of an eye. Is going to be working to clear out that blue horizontally and should probably take it here. Maybe not. No, he's not. He's not going to. Now he'll take it, however. He is down to 4 versus Donatello's 22. So Donatello has to put the foot to the floor here if he's going to stand a chance of staying in this. That double red's going to be good. He's only needing 2 left as Sarros is going to is going to be the first out at a 620. Scorching time there from Sarros. So he will take the first crown on that bottom side. Meanwhile, we now look to the top side of this quad box. It's down to Sportsy, down to JB, and it's 7 plays 7, Flindo.
Yeah, it's very close here. Love the setup here by Itzsportsy, giving him access to a horizontal blue. Not gonna take it though. It's gonna that clearing out that yellow is gonna drop some red. But he does have opportunity for this horizontal red, and trying to open that blue back up. And he's gonna do it with 1 more red blue. But it is JB now, just needing 2 more yellows and 3 more reds. Can Itzsportsy pull this out? It's just gonna be
Needs 1 blue.
RNG first.
Needs 1 blue. And it's gonna be there.
JB with a 718 and with a 720. I think that's when we double check, but it looks like JB does have it.
That is unbelievably close. I do think, yeah, it is going to be checked real quick on that. But what we do know for absolute certain is that Sarros did manage to get that crown in the bottom side, 620 to 737. So hey, scorching time there from Sarros in this opening 4 to 7. Of course, one thing to keep note of as well is the top game, JB versus Sportsy. The winner of that goes on to play Resomatic. Sarros and Donatello, the winner of that match, goes on to face Cat Pants, our 2nd seed.
Yeah, so going to be absolutely crazy no matter who wins these games. But yeah, again, we are double checking and confirming the outcome between JBHenry and Itzsportsy. Now, if it somehow does come back to a tie, then what happens is our top match would go on to level 8. But it is JB winning the first match.
Yeah, we have confirmation there as JB did take the first crown in that top game. So Donatello and Sportsy have catch up to play.
All right, and we get reset here. We have readies from Sarge. Well, we have a ready from Sarge. We have a re-waddy from JBHenry.
I was about to take a drink, Flindo. God damn it.
I just took a drink too. And we have readies from Don and Sportsy. Looking like everybody's good to go.
It is readies from everyone.
Yeah, Sportsy gonna stay on, or excuse me, Sarge staying on medium, everybody else staying on high, and we have our 3-2-1 pills for this game 2 of a best of 3. Our left players looking to force the sweep. Our players on the right looking to feed the crows and force a decider. And we've already had some really, really overfed crows last week in our gold bracket.
Oh my god, that gold bracket was insane. Like absolutely insane. From major upsets to, just incredible plays across from all of our competitors. If you haven't yet seen it, go back and watch it. It was fantastic. Meanwhile, this our second game in this best of 3. Looking at JB's board, all clustered towards the middle side of things. Meanwhile, Sportsy's board is kind of, split. It's wider open, leads to potentially more drop time. On the bottom side of the board, there's a void being filled there from Sarros, but Sarros is now completely devoid of any color apart from red. Meanwhile, Donatello left with 5 viruses, majority red. So you know what? Not too bad, but I'm noticing a little bit of a buried virus on Sportsy's side of things.
Yeah, it's not going to be too bad for him to open up. He's just got to clear this out horizontally, and he'll have access to that blue pretty darn quick. In fact, there it is. Now, Sportsy really in a rough situation here, needing mostly blue. But we look at the bottom of our screen. Donatello out first at a 127.
Wow.
Sarge really not going to be far behind, 131. And we see JB already in his level 5.
Yeah, and look at that sort of void in the mid part of his board. Very wide open in that. So whether or not he decides to take those 2 blues as quickly as possible, just to reduce the amount of drop time he's going to have to take, is up to him. Sportsy is starting to play dangerously high here. A missed drop here, and of course he's playing on high. That speed is going to be quickened up.
Yeah, Sportsy got to be really careful. Fortunately for him, the blues are to the left and not to the right. The left side of the board is a little bit easier to get to, and starting to get those blues now. Just needs 3 more. Meanwhile, we got a match at the bottom of our game. 8 viruses for SgtSarros and 9 viruses for Donatello, both with fairly fairly diverse boards. Sarros just needing 3 more blues now, and Donatello with a little bit of everything. It's going to be Sarge out first at a 240. Oh, look at that. Tell me about that misdrop there at the top.
Word, that misdrop at the top of the board has put Sportsy in a really, really bad situation, but that underclear saves it so much. You have no idea. Meanwhile, looking at this bottom board, Donatello out just over 3 minutes into 6, and it's very close between those 2. Meanwhile, JB needs to find some reds. He's calling for it. He's looking for that. No, never mind. Okay, he doesn't decide to take it. I think he's just going to set up for the horizontal and the yellow at the bottom, which is not a bad play. It gets it out of 5 at 223 into 6, and I've noticed something of a time disparity on Sportsy's side. It's kind of thrown him a little bit, but it's okay. We can check it afterwards. So he is slowly getting through this 5. That's a shame, Flindo.
Yeah, and I think he noticed that that's what happened. And the Dave's in our Twitch chat here live saying that Sportsy started 0.8 seconds before JB on his timer. So, and JB's so far ahead right now that it's probably not going to end up being a thing we have to worry about anyway.
Yeah.
As JB now 16 viruses, now 18 ahead of Sportsy, and looking pretty good to get out of this level. Meanwhile, we look down back at the bottom. We have SgtSarros getting a little in between tuck there to get a really nice vertical blue. Now just needing 3 more yellows. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 439 for SgtSarros. But Donatello right behind, 5 seconds, 444.
444. It's going to be a close one here. I think Donatello can set up for something really nice. If he flipped the pill the other way, that would have worked. in his favor. I think a lot more than what he was trying to do. JB out into 7 at just sub 5, which is an incredible time for him. And he's got good double and horizontal opportunities here as well. So he's sitting pretty at this point in time. Good T clear there as well. Meanwhile, down the bottom of the board, it's 22 plays 25. It's probably the closer game out of the two here. Good horizontal there from SgtSarros. Meanwhile, Donatello's playing a little bit of a high elevation game here. Really needs to start focusing on that garbage. That horizontal. I think he's seen it too late.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to maybe tuck it under and get the blues that are underneath that yellow there. Probably what I would have done was horizontal the blues that are on top and open up that yellow access in column 1 just a little bit more. But now, as Donatello's trying to work through this, SgtSarros has worked himself down to just columns 1 and 2. Interesting to see how he's going to work through this. He's got a nice horizontal opportunity now, and he sees it, and he's going to take it.
Oh, brilliant work there from both the players down the bottom side. Meanwhile, SgtSarros is going to complete it at another 620.
Hey, consistency is key.
Consistency is king, and hell of a job there from SgtSarros. He will move on to face Cat Pants in the next round, and that final blue will seal the deal up the top as JB gets out at a 642 as well. Oh, what a way to start off our silver bracket.
Yeah, GG's to all of our players.